Hello everyone, and welcome to our day on dot plots. Now, I personally think that dot plots are the easiest of the data types that we've learned so far, because we've learned about box plots and histograms, and now we have dot plots. Okay, so number one, the students in one social studies class were asked how many brothers and sisters, siblings, they each have. And our dot plot here shows our results. So, what you first need to know about a histogram is how it is labeled. So, down here, these are the siblings. These are the number of siblings. And then the dots, these are the students in the social studies class. Okay, so let's just take a look before we actually get into our questions. So this 0 right here means that 0 siblings. Therefore, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 students have 0 siblings. Okay? Excuse me. All right, so then how many students are total in this class? Well, if you're asked that, all you have to do is count up the dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So there are 20 total students. Okay, and that just might help. Alrighty, so now that we have that basis, how many of our students have 6 siblings? Well, you're going to go to 6, because these are our siblings. And since there's not a dot, that means 0 students have 6 siblings. Okay? And then how many students have no siblings? Well, that was the 0 siblings, and we already counted that, and that was 6 students. All right? And then how many students have 3 or more siblings? So it's 3 or more, so we're going to go to 3 siblings, and we have more up here. And we're just going to count our dots. Excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 students have 3 or more siblings. All right, let's move on. All right. The resting pulse rates were reported for 16 boys in gym class before they exercised. And the line plot, or dot plot, shows the results. So this right here is our resting pulse rate. And they told us 16 boys, so we should have 16 X's. So go ahead and count and verify. Okay, cool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Perfect. So range of the pulse rates. All right, so range is our max minus our min. And so we have to go to where there's an X. All right, where there's a dot or an X. And since there is an X over 85, 85 is going to be our largest. So it's going to be 85. Minus our min, go to the smallest dot, and since we have an X over 79, and that will give us, put it in the calculator, 85 minus 79 gives us 6. So that's our range. Alright? And how many boys had a pulse rate over 81? So over 81 means not including. So we're going to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 students. Because you have to be over 81. Alright? How many boys had a pulse rate of 83? Go to 83. 1, 2. And then how many boys had a pulse rate of at most 82? So at most means that it includes, and you can think of it like age. If you are or even height, if you can be at most 5 foot. Okay, can you be over 5 foot? Nope, but you can be at most. So we're going to include 82 and count everything behind. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that's going to be 13 students. Okay. These problems are only going to be tricky because of the words like at most and knowing whether or not it's included. Alright, now if we go to the back, it says to create a frequency table, but we're not going to do that because we don't need to. Instead, we are going now to learn how a dot plot is created. So, we have our numbers right here, and 68, so I'm going to put an X. I do X's, you can do dots. I do X's because they're easier. And then 2 over 70, because I have two 70s right here. And then 71, 75, 80, 81, 82, 84, 75, 75, 80, 75, 77, 75, 80, 83, 80, 71, and 70. Okie dokie. So we have created our dot plot. So what's our range of our data? So really quick, if we had 85 on our number line, but no dot over it, okay? Our range, it has to be where the X is. So it's going to be 84, because remember it's max minus min. And then minus the smallest number with an X over it. So if we had 67 over here, it would still be 68, because it has to be where there's an X. And then 84 minus 68 will give us 16. The mode, where's your most amount of X's? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 75 is our mode, because that's the most. And how many players are greater than 70 inches? So, just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There you go. Alright, last one on this page. So we are going to make a dot plot, and I'm going to add some numbers to our dot plot. Okay, alrighty. So 11, 5, 9, Hopefully you are creating your dot plot along with me. I always cross out the numbers so that I don't repeat them, because I actually have a bad habit of doing that. Alrighty, so now what's our range of our data? Which is going to be our max minus min. So even if we have the number 14, we go to where the X is. So that's going to be 13 minus 5. And also, you have all this data up here. If you had a 14, it would be included in your data. So you can always look for your maximum number minus your minimum in that data. And the mode is most. And that's going to be 11, because it has 4 X's. Oh, and 13 minus 5, sorry, gives us 8. Alright, and then how many students are at least 10 years old. So at least 10 years old means that 10 years old is going to be your minimum. Okay? So at least 10 years old. Boop, 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 boop. Okay? Because you have to be at least 10 years old in order to play. How about that? All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 students. All right, so now that we've got interpreting dot plots down, let's go on to the next one. All right, so next page. And our next page says dot plot homework, but we did it in class. So we need to create a dot plot. So 0 is our minimum. And then find your maximum, which is 5. So we need to go all the way up to 5. All right. And then I have a 2, a 4, 2 3s, and 1. And then I have a 0, 5, 4, and 2 2s. 1, 3, 2, 1, 2. A little bit easier to see the data when it looks like that. And that's it. That's all you had to do. You just had to create the dot plot. Alrighty, next, the dot plot shows the number of songs in a playlist. Use that data to find the mean, median, mode, and range. Alright, so look at your number line, and it goes by 2s. So this number right here is 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, so on and so forth. Alright, so in order to do this, it might be easiest to list out our numbers. So we have a dot at 25. We have a dot at 36. We have 2 dots at 38. So I want you to think about right here, where I have 3 X's at 1. How many 1s did I have? I had 3 of them. So I need to list out the 38 twice. And same with 39. And then 40 has 3, so I need to list it out 3 times. Same with 42. Same with 45 only has 1 dot, and then 47 has 2 dots. Alright, so now to find the rest of this information, mode might be easiest to start with, because you just look at the dots, and 40 and 42, because remember we are allowed to have more than one mode. Alright, range is going to be 47 minus 25, which will give us 22. Median, you can absolutely find the middle. Which will give us 40. And then the mean, add them all up and divide by the number of numbers. $38 plus 38 plus 39 plus 39 plus 40s. There's 3 of them. And then 3 42s. 145 and whoops, 2 47s. Okay, so you get 590, and then divide by the number of numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And that's going to give us 39.3. Okay? Alright. Always make sure that you check your answer. Make sure that it is at least within the number line. Alright, and so now on to the next one. We are going to create our dot plot, and we go from 0 to 4, it looks like. Alright, and I'm just going to count the number of zeros this time. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the number of ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Number of 2's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Number of 3's, 1, 2, 3, 4. And number of 4's, 1, 2. Alright, so now, what do you think this tells us about our data? Well, we know that this is number of pets. And Jasmine asked her class, so these are students and Jasmine's class. Oh, sorry, got cut off there. There we go. Alright, and so you can kind of talk about anything you want about this data. You can talk about how the fact that 4 students don't have pets. You can talk about how the majority of the class do have pets. You can talk about how 8 of her classmates have 2 pets. You can theorize that the pets might be 2 dogs, 2 cats, cat and a dog, whatever. This is honestly a great milestone question because it's so open-ended and it says, what do you think? So there's really no right or wrong answer. Well, of course there are wrong answers, but you can say pretty much anything you want so long as it makes sense in the context of your data. Okay? So you can say anything, and honestly for the milestone, say everything. Mention everything that I just mentioned. Write as much as you can when you get an open response on the milestone. Okay. And then for our last one, dot plot shows magazines sold. So there is not a dot at 15. There's not one at 16. Our lowest dot is 17. So that's our minimum. And then we have 2 at 18, 5 20s, and then no dots here, no dots here, 3 23s, 1 24, and 2 25s. Okay? Alright, so now, just to make sure that we all remember, I'm going to put my data into my data table. And as you can see, I already have data in here, but it's not the right data, so you just press this delete button, and it gets rid of everything for you. And then you press 17, enter, 18, enter, 18, enter, and so on and so forth. Where am I at? Okay, I did my 124, now just 2 25s. Okay, and then once you get your data in there, you're going to press second, data. And then you're going to press enter, 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 enter. Okay, now remember that X bar is your mean. So our mean is going to be 21.14. Okay, and then scroll down to 7, which tells you our minimum is 17, which is good for a range, so I'm going to write that down. And then our Q1, our median, which is our Q2, so that's 20. And then our maximum is 25. Okay, and then it scrolls back up to the top. So 25 minus 17 gives us 8. And then our mode is the most, and that's going to be 20. And we're done. That's how you do dot plots. Okay, good job, guys.